Thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. This is Nichol Spohr, and today I am going to be sharing a bunch of elegant foiled Christmas cards using brand new glimmer plates and dies from different Spellbinders Christmas 2020 collections. I'm kind of mixing and matching from several different collections here to create some elegant foiled designs. So much good stuff in this release. This is one of what will be several Christmas videos featuring new products. So stay tuned for those coming a little bit later. But today it's all about glimmering. So I know I've mentioned this quite a bit lately, but I am completely addicted to the glimmer plates. We are going to start by foiling the Snowflake sparkle background on some blue cardstock here. I believe this is Pool Play with some opal foil, and it looks see-through, and it just kind of gives a beautiful tone on tone, kind of iridescent-y type effect, which I really love. So we are going to foil this on our background. I believe this foils A2 size, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I will be trimming mine down to 4 by 5 1/4 to kind of make it all work. Now, while I heat up one of the elements, because these cards feature so much foiling, I would work on other parts of the card while I wait for the Glimmer hot foil system to be ready to foil. And in this case, we are going to take a sentiment from another collection. So this first glimmer plate is from the Sparking Christmas collection. This sentiment we're going to be using, that it's the most wonderful time of the year, is from the Christmas Cascade collection by Becca Feakin. And I actually, probably my favorite holiday set from any of the releases. I love the mix of script and fonts there. They're just beautiful. I used all three of the large sentiments, and I think if I didn't use both, I for sure used one of the small phrases from this set. I also used the Nestabilities Essential Circles Etched die to die cut that little dotted circle around the inside of the circle of the glimmered design. And we're going to pop some silver mirror cardstock back behind that to really make that circle pop before we glimmer this. Now, I want to mention the color of foil I'm using. I'm using Moon Dust, which is so pretty. It's a beautiful aqua. I really wanted this to have a wintry, cold feel. I know we're still in the midst of summer here in the United States, but I love trying to get that wintry, snowy type of effect with this card. And we're even going to do a little layered foiling, which is another favorite thing that I've been doing a little bit lately. When I peel that away, look how beautiful this background is. When you tip it at an angle, the foiling just looks amazing. I'm going to pierce out any of these little holes here that may be stuck with my tool-in-one, and then we are going to take some additional foil plate images. These are from another Becca Feakin set. This is going to be the Filigree Glimmer Wreaths. And I'm actually not using the wreath yet. At the end of this video, I have 2 cards that use this set. We're going to be using the Snowflake images from this set, and we are going to glimmer on top of what we've already done using this prism foil, which is going to be this really silver, and it does look like a prism. It's not the flat silver. You're going to see some silver foil in a little bit, which will really show the difference between the two. But I'm going to be using this prism foil to foil silverish prism snowflakes around the background. And I'm going to do this several times. I do like to use a little low tack tape to help hold those in place while I run them through the machine so they don't shift. That's my best tip that I can give for you when glimmering, is to find a low tack tape or a washi tape that works for you and use that to help hold your glimmer plates in place. Another tip is to not place the tape over what you've previously glimmered, if at all possible. There have been some times where I've had to be kind of creative with that because there was just no way to avoid it. But if I can, you can see it where I put the tape here. I'm avoiding what I've foiled previously on purpose because it can lift up that foil if the tape is super sticky. This particular purple tape is not sticky. I've used it multiple times. In fact, it's starting to be not quite sticky enough to hold things in place. But that's kind of the ideal because it's going to be a lot less likely to peel up any of your foiling. I'm going to continue to do this all over the background. Now, because this video is chock full of samples, I did share kind of start to finish on this card. I think the next card will be mostly start to finish. I ended up not taking you through every single step on every card, and I'm going to be sharing the samples and kind of talking about what I did and what I used for most of the cards at the end, just to save some time because it's a lot of repetition. I'm going to use these backgrounds again. I'm going to use some of the same sets, just different images, different borders, different greetings, things like that. My last thing I'm going to do for this card is we're going to take some little snowflake dies. These also are from another brand new set. This is going to be the Festive Noel, I believe. Yes, the Festive Noel Etched Dies has these snowflakes that you can use to embellish that large die cut Noel. Well, I'm going to use those little snowflakes to help embellish the background of this card. I die cut these from some white glitter cardstock and vellum, and we're going to scatter them around. Now, any of the snowflakes that have a little hole in the center, I didn't particularly want to leave that little hole there. And so I'm going to embellish those with a white gemstone. I might even do that to a few others, especially the vellum snowflakes, because that's going to be a great way to hide the adhesive. I'm going to place the adhesive only in the center and then pop those in place. Plus, I like the gems as they add an additional little bit of glitz and glimmer to the design. But look at all that layering, and it's not a ton of layers. It just is a lot of layers as far as we have our background glimmer plate, we've glimmered our sentiment, we die cut a design from the background panel, we glimmered on some additional snowflakes, and finally we're adding an actual layer that is dimensional with these die cut snowflakes. So many ways to mix and match all of the glimmer plates and dies from the Christmas releases together to get some really amazing results. I'm loving everything I see from this release. I think or all the releases, I should say. They're phenomenal. And I really think they're fantastic additions to maybe your Christmas stash if you want to pick up a couple of new products. I know I've heard from quite a few of you who said that you're starting to get into the foiling. There's so many great products now that it really makes it easy and fun. We're going to place that silver mirror cardstock circle. I just die cut a circle so that I wasn't wasting a whole panel that wouldn't be seen. We're going to do that right behind here, and that's going to show up so nice and really draw your eye into the sentiment. We'll trim off the excess snowflakes that are hanging off the edge, pop this onto a white top fold card base, and our first card is all finished. Now, very much like the first card, we are going to be using the other big background. So this one is the Christmas sweater background. I'm going to foil this with a little bit of the Crimson Stars foil on Tin Pail Fun Stampers Journey cardstock. Love this because, again, not a flat red. And I shouldn't call it flat necessarily because the red from Spellbinders is gorgeous. I like this because it has a little bit of a shimmer to it. It actually has stars. If you get a big enough area, you'll see the little star, but it's just going to be super sparkly. I love the red on this really, really pale, light gray, and looks phenomenal. We're going to trim this one down to 4 by 5¼ inches as well. Kind of kept it consistent there. I liked the little border around the edge. We are going to be foiling another sentiment from that Becca Feekin Elegant Holiday Glimmer Sentiments collection that I love so much. This time we're using We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And then we'll also use From Our Family to Yours, and I'll show you that here in a second. We're going to foil this sentiment with black. I'm a huge fan of red and black together for a holiday card or anything holiday really. And I love how this looks with the beautiful red foiling of the sweater design in the background and the black foiling of our greeting. It really draws your eye in. And that circle that's already foiled and left for you is perfect for a sentiment or an embellishment, whatever you want to do there. We are going to die cut with one of those Essentials Circles Etched dies. I did a lot of that with my cards. Kind of kept it consistent with this circle design in the center. You definitely do not have to. You could also glimmer a circle if you want, which I will show in another card if you don't want to do the die cutting. But I like popping a little something behind. I will be using the silver mirror cardstock behind this one as well. I glimmered first here and then die cut the circle. You can do that whichever way you prefer. Now, really, really exciting and probably one of my most favorite things from the Sparking Christmas 2020 release are going to be the Glimmer Poinsettias. I've used them on many of my cards today. So while that Elegant Holiday Glimmer Sentiments is probably my favorite sentiments, the really beautiful Glimmer Poinsettia is stunning. So stunning. You glimmer the poinsettia, then you can die cut it. There's leaves, there's 3 different poinsettia sizes. You layer them together. They are gorgeous. Now that was the rest of the sentiment from the Elegant Holiday Glimmer Sentiments, the little phrase. We're actually going to use the Holiday Sentiment Series 2, which is another brand new sentiment set, to the little banner, to die cut that into a strip, which is super fun. Great thing about this strip, I have heard this from a lot of you, or been asked this, I guess I should say. Some of the banner or border strip dies from Spellbinders are wider, and you are looking for a thinner strip. This is a thinner strip. I was so excited about that because I love a nice little thin strip, and this really is perfect. Now here are those Glimmer Poinsettias. I did do the glimmering off camera to save time. I glimmered them with the crimson stars and silver. This is a good example of the silver foil. This is not the matte silver. This is the basic silver foil. It's not the prism from the Snowflake card before. It's gorgeous, and I'm going to use it on my next card on the background, so you'll really see that there too. I used that for the leaves, crimson stars for the poinsettias, and then I've got my little banner here I'm going to pop up with foam adhesive. I will tell you, I had to pull it back off because I want to put my poinsettias down first to kind of frame up the circle. I layered, for the big one, I'm using the large and medium poinsettias to layer together. For the smaller poinsettia, I'm using the medium and small. There's 3 sizes, which makes it great for layering them together. I think these are so beautiful. I could see making some sort of home decor with them, wall art or whatever it might be. They are very pretty, super elegant. The addition of the foiling just really takes these up to another level. Absolutely stunning, stunning. Probably one of my very favorites from all of the releases. You can see I'm just layering those together. Then we're going to tuck a few little leaves. I think I did 3. I like to do an odd number if at all possible. So I'm using 2 flowers, which I really didn't feel like I needed more than that. I thought that would be overkill and too much for this design. So I only used 2, but the 3 leaves kind of helps balance it nicely. And then I'm going to tuck my sentiment strip in here. We will pop this onto a white top fold card base, and our second card is all finished. What do you guys think? Are you loving the foil and the glimmer plates from the 2020 release? I just think they are so amazing. Now the final thing I'm going to do is I opted to take some kind of metallic goldish, I think they're just called metallic from Pretty Pink Posh, they're gemstones, and we are going to embellish the center of the poinsettias. And this little finishing touch was just the perfect way to finish off these flowers. I'm using a little dab of Ranger Multi Matte Medium, and then picking those up with an embellishment wand and popping them in place. So my first 2 cards feature the kind of all over background. We used the Christmas sweater background and the snowflake sparkle background. You can use that and kind of cover up the whole circle. Maybe if you have something a little bit bigger and you'll just see little peaks and parts of that, or you can use the circle like I did for these 2 cards, and you instantly have a card front that is so beautiful. And just look at the glimmer on both of these. Next, we are going to use a background die from YANA'S Christmas collection, which this is the Christmas Foliage background. And what's awesome about this is it creates half of the background, so you could use it just half, or you can foil one half, flip it, and foil the other, and you have a perfect all over background. We're going to foil on some Forest Fun Stampers Journey cardstock silver foil. So this is where I'm using that silver foil on this, and it will leave a circle opening in the center. It's going to be a little smaller than what I've used before. I'm actually going to die cut a circle from this panel using one of those essential circle etched dies, and we're going to glimmer some of YANA'S greetings on another piece of cardstock behind it. So it's going to peek through kind of like a window, and then we're going to embellish with 1 poinsettia. But this time we're going to use that green. I love green and silver together for holiday. I tried to kind of do an assortment here with my color choices. If there is ever any overfoiling, I like to take a little sand eraser. There wasn't a ton, but I did take a little bit and had to remove a couple little areas. Then I've got a 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel of Fun Stampers Journey whipped cream cardstock that I'm going to foil with the Crimson Stars foil using these fabulous sentiments from YANA. This is her Christmas sentiments. And what's awesome about these is the scripty sentiments all have dies that coordinate with them. And there's lots and lots you get here. So you're going to see I'm going to build Wishing You Season's Greetings from all of us. And the Wishing You is a glimmer plate. Season's Greetings is a glimmer plate. From is a glimmer plate. And all of us is a glimmer plate. So it takes a little bit of work. Yes, I did glimmer them separately. The reason being is very similar to if these were stamps. I wanted to cozy them up a little bit more. I wanted them to be closer together. And I found it worked best to foil most of them separately. So I think I foiled Wishing You Season's Greetings together. But then maybe I foiled the next 2 together as well. Whatever worked, that I could get them close enough together that it looked natural, if that makes sense. I really think that if I had, the From has these little tabs on it, which actually spacing wise will work great. You can kind of fit the little phrases underneath it. I found it was a little further than what I wanted for this card, so I'm going to foil from separate and then all of us separate. And it's kind of important with this card that I get it all kind of cozied up because the circle opening is fairly small and I want it to fit. I do want to mention off camera, I did take some Nuvo Crystal drops in Red Berry to embellish my panel so that there's little drops of red, little berries in the foiled design, which adds a nice little pop of color. And this Crimson Stars foil really looks awesome for this sentiment as well. I like a little red and green, kind of going very traditional with the color choices for this card. Now, because the background of this one is green, when I went to add the Glimmer Poinsettias, I actually chose not to do the leaves in green for this. I'm going to do them in white. I'm going to foil the design with silver foil, but dye on whipped cream cardstock and then die cut them with the coordinating dies. The poinsettia itself I did do from the red cardstock because I wanted it to pop against the green. But I was really afraid that green leaves would just get lost in this particular background. So have some fun with your color choices because you definitely don't have to stick to traditional, which you'll see on my next card where I'm going to actually do some silver poinsettias. I'm going to have to trim this background because I didn't get it foiled exactly in the center, but that's not a big deal. I actually just went ahead and die cut it from a circle or in a circle shape, and I'm going to place it back behind. I found that this worked the best as far as lining it up, and then I didn't have to worry about trimming down that whole background panel. Now this really, I feel like, needs a little something to embellish, and so a little poinsettia is going to be the perfect accent. We'll pop it on a white top fold card base. We'll embellish the center of the poinsettia with some of those metallic gems again. So there's our red poinsettia. Here's our little white leaves. And it looks so, so pretty. So lots of all over backgrounds. I'm kind of sharing a lot of ideas on how to glimmer your whole background here and then add extra glimmering with sentiments and embellishments. Now our next card, we're actually going to combine a couple of border glimmer plates together. So the sweater background, there's actually another set called Christmas Sweater Borders. It has the same designs as our Christmas sweater background, but you can mix and match. You could create just a strip along the bottom edge of your card, or a strip at the top, the strip at the bottom, in the center, whatever it might be. We're also going to be taking the Snowflake sparkle border for one of our backgrounds. And I'm going to work on these together because as I'm letting the machine warm up and heat up one of the glimmer backgrounds, I'm continuously working on the other. So I'm trimming the foil, taping it in place, getting it ready to go. That's one of my little time-saving tips. If I have my glimmer hot foil system out, I try to do more than one at a time. So I'm glimmering my snowflakes for that snowflake sparkle border, but then I'm also combining the Christmas sweater border with the Christmas border greetings. So what's really, really fun is you can combine these different border elements together to create a custom background. So this time I'm going to combine the Joy and Noel borders with the Christmas sweater borders using black foil on red, something I really love. So kind of a little bit opposite of the red we did on the light gray before. I really wanted it to look like a Christmas sweater, and I like the little addition of some text in this background, and we're going to simply foil each of these borders until we fill the entire background. I've also started the Snowflake Sparkle. That's going to be foiled with Crimson Stars. I started in the center, and then we're going to kind of scoot it down and glimmer another strip on each side so we fill the background with these snowflakes. Just a couple of different ways to use glimmer plates in different ways to create all over backgrounds. Now, if I could, I would glimmer more than one at a time. So you're going to see that I glimmered the center and then the two small panels for the sweater background. The snowflake, no way around it, going to have to be glimmered 3 times, but it's not a big deal. I want to get it lined up where I want it to go. You can see I'm warming up the sweater background over on one side, and I'm prepping the next background on the other so that I can continuously be glimmering, and then I can go ahead and put all my cards together once I have my backgrounds built. Just going to slide that foil there in place. Want to make sure it's going to completely be glimmered. And then I'm going to swap them out. I'm running this through my Spellbinders Platinum die cutting machine. You run the platform of the Glimmer hot foil system through after it's heated up. When I peel that black foil off, look how awesome that sweater background looks. Isn't that fun? And then I'm heating up the sparkle background. I am going to continue this until both backgrounds are finished. It's a little bit more work to build your own, but I think the results are amazing and you can completely customize it. You could even do each of these stripes for the sweater in different colors if you want to alternate colors or mix in something different. You can totally do that. That's going to be so easy with the borders to be able to do that. You can also create an all over text background. Maybe you just want to use those Christmas border greetings to create an all over text background. That is also a fantastic effect with these glimmer plates. Now, once I am finished building my backgrounds, I am going to just talk you through. I did most of this off camera just simply to save time. I am going to glimmer a dotted circle from the Essential Glimmer Circles on whipped cream cardstock with black foil. And then we are going to glimmer a greeting using our Essential Holiday Glimmer Sentiments. So the one I talked about at the beginning, my favorite, this is the last of the sentiments from this. We're going to foil Making Spirits Bright with Crimson Stars foil for our sweater background. And then I'm going to foil some silver poinsettias and green leaves and embellish that card. For our snowflake card, I actually went ahead and die cut a vellum circle using our Essential Circles Etched dies. So we're going to do the circle shape, we're going to do the little dotted border, and then we're going to use another brand new die. So I've been focusing a lot on the glimmer plates, but I did use this brand new die. This is the Die Delights Radiant Snowflake Etched die. We're going to die cut that from white glitter cardstock, add it to our vellum circle, and then embellish with a foiled greeting from the Holiday Sentiments, the Series 2. And I did do this presents background. This is one of YANA'S glimmer plates. I did not actually finish that card, so hopefully I'll share that in another video at another time. But I'm going to go ahead and put together the Snowflake Sparkle background really quick since it's a little bit different than the others. The vellum, in order to hide the adhesive, I'm actually going to glue the snowflake in place to the vellum and then hide my liquid adhesive back behind our glittery snowflake. But I love, it's really, really simple. But sometimes simple is just what you need. I really like this. And this is a beautiful snowflake. If you like snowflake dies, this is a great one. And the size is so perfect. I love how it fits this die cut circle so perfectly. We will embellish the tips of the snowflake. I felt like it needed just a little something. We're going to embellish that with some clear gems. And then that Merry Christmas is from Holiday Sentiments Series 2. We're going to glimmer Merry Christmas on black cardstock with silver foil. Pop it up with foam adhesive. Add our little clear gemstones to the tips of the snowflake. And we are ready to complete our final 2 cards today. We're going to revisit the Christmas sweater background and snowflake sparkle background because I think they are perfect for really showcasing our little wreath, which I know I mentioned earlier, the Filigree Glimmer Wreaths from the Christmas Cascade collection. What is awesome about them is that they're kind of a circle shape, so they're going to be great to kind of cover up the circle on these backgrounds. Plus they create beautiful designs and you can mix and match. And I really wanted to show how you mix and match the different elements. I will tell you the background I'm glimmering, I actually did not use. I glimmered a couple different ones, but it'll at least give you an idea of how to do this. So you can glimmer the circle shape, and then there's a little double circle that goes inside of that. You can choose to glimmer that in the same color or not. I glimmered it in the same color. Then you can glimmer greetings, and you can mix and match them however you want them to go. And then there's a bells image, or those snowflake images I used for the first card. You can mix and match those to go in the center. Or you don't have to use them if you don't want to, or you can use them for other projects. But lots of options with the Filigree Glimmer Wreaths. So I actually chose, I'm going to do the bells here on camera. We're going to take a couple of greetings. We're going to tape those down. We're going to foil that. And then I'm going to die cut this whole shape with one of the Essential Circles Etched dies, and then pop it onto our background. These backgrounds, again, foiled with our backgrounds that we used before. So Snowflake Sparkle and Christmas Sweater. The little stripes that go through the center of each, I actually die cut those with the Holiday Sentiments Series 2 border die. I just die cut some little strips so they would all be uniform, placed those on the glimmered background, popped this circle in place, added some little gemstones. I added some die cut snowflakes. You can do whatever you want with this part of it, but very, very quick, very simple, and you get beautiful, elegant cards. So look how pretty that two-tone foiling is. Such an elegant design. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these elegant foiled Christmas cards featuring new 2020 Spellbinders Christmas collections. The supplies I used to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Spellbinders products that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a new card making video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.